Good morning. Another day, another dollar. Hopefully, that phrase will be a thing of the past by the time we're all retiring. Man, that'd be sweet if we could pass that down to our kids and our grandkids that we broke money. We figured out how to stop letting everybody be so miserable under this crazy physical thing that people use to control other people, and they're not bad. They don't realize what is going on. They just know that there's a benefit coming from it and they can use that benefit to push us forward. But I'm gonna I'm gonna put a little skin in the game here for you. I'm going to demonstrate to you how I've already started, and I made a statement about how I pay all my bills with just 2 hours of work a day. I'm gonna demonstrate to you how I figured that out. So, when I was 15, I got a job at Angie's Pizza in Whitehall. The Angelettis knew my grandmother and were close. Not really close. They just knew, and she ordered from them, and it was I believe it was just kind of like a same church kind of thing. And they noticed my family, and despite the fact that I was kind of too young to be working in a pizza shop, they gave me the job anyway, and I did well. I was teenage issues, and I'm sure I probably flaked on them plenty and was always trying to leave early and all that jazz, but it is what it is. And I knew, even then, especially as a teenager, I knew this isn't right, dude. None of this is right. You cannot. I feel guilty looking at the man behind the counter and telling him that he's spending every hour in this place for X dollars per hour, and that's it. And that's what you're here for. And I get it, you're going to do things for the business, but all of it's attached to the money that was paid to you. So I decided to start looking around and living my life the way that I live it, despite the fact that I should be a hateful little monster because of what I went through. I decided not to be. I decided to give. So I started looking at the system of what I was doing. The hardest job in the shop, in any pizza shop, I mean, it might be operations because it can get complicated, especially in corporate stores. That can get very complicated, which is just another money problem. Hey, but these pizza shops are a necessity. Just like burger joints, just like grocery stores, any place that provides something that people need is a necessity. And it's like, we may not need it to be Little Caesars pizza, but a pizza, burger, whatever, Taco Hut, some food must be there. It's called an amenity, and people rely on those things to help sustain them through their day. That's it attracts people to that area. The reason I'm telling you all this is when you look at the hardest job in a location, we're going to use pizza, dough. Dough, the single most physically intensive, hardest to master part of any pizza employee's repertoire is if they have to deal in dough. And if you ask them, they'll tell you. Now, a good pizza employee will tell you it is a privilege to play with the dough because it's much more interesting than all the other stuff you have to do. But that's not the point. Point being is I focused all of my time and energy. I stopped using the ideal that they are only paying me a few bucks an hour, and I threw myself into it like I cared. Like I just wanted people to be fed. I was happy to know that my dough was fluffy, fresh, and making them smile. And I grinded and I perfected this system that has cut down an 8 hour workday into a two and a half, sometimes 3 hour workday. I'm talking they would pay two people sometimes 6 hours to get dough done. I look at my boss and I say, why don't you take what you're paying to make dough, all that, we'll consolidate it into one number, and I'll make all your dough. And I'll do it fast. And I'll do it hard. And you won't track my gosh darn hours. You'll just be happy with the fact that for a little bit less than what you were paying before, you are now getting dough in less than half the time with almost no call, like I'm going to remove most of your problems and give you a solution that saves you a little bit of money. And over time, maybe it'll change, maybe it'll get better. We have to work on it, but this is good and you know it. And the first time they saw me pull off dough in just a couple hours, done, you're hired. It has been a beautiful thing ever since. For a while, I left and went to FedEx. It just was the hit each other, the schedule. Either way, the point that I'm making is money holds all of us back. It holds our limitations back of what we're willing to give because we don't feel like we're being given the value we deserve. It's time to start fighting for the value we deserve.